Hi, everyone. Thanks to all of you who have watched and liked my previous freezer spell videos. Part one was about the actual spell work. Part two was about the aftermath of freezer and other spells similar to that. And this part three is very important in tying everything up and manifesting the best possible outcome when you're finished with your spell. Please watch this all the way through. There's going to be bits and pieces of very important information. I'm going to be jumping around a bit here because my computer unfortunately ate some of my previous recording clips. So I've got to re edit everything. I will try to put chapters at the in the description of the video so you can find the pieces of interest to you. And right now, I've got an 8-week old feral kitten I just adopted who's sitting beside me and playing with my computer too. So this should be interesting. Bear with me and let's get into it, okay? I found in my recent workings that this is a crucial part of this kind of magic. So let's just go over the chant when we are working our freezer spells. You say plain and simple, forcefully, stay there and freeze as long as I please. This clearly invokes the freezing of the negativity and binds the person or the entity from causing harm. But what happens when the spell is released? Here's a quick clip of what happened to me. I'm undoing the spell, so I thaw out the baggie and I open it up and I realize, oh, I also put vinegar in there, so and chili flakes. So it was quite the stench in the kitchen. So I let it thaw. I poured it down the drain with my thanks and whatever. I took my piece of paper out of there, which is hardly legible anymore, which is fine. And I dried it out because I was intending to burn it afterwards. So here's what happened. The very next day, I get a call from these people. The very
Oh
next morning.
my
They
God.
hadn't contacted me for over a year. I think it was last March when I was last spoke to them, 2024.
What?
So the bottom line is that unless you have verifiably resolved problem or the problem is resolved, for example, your crazy neighbor has moved, or you have your boss is in another apartment, or you've gotten a new job yourself, your ex has gone to live in Timbuktu, your coworker's been fired, and stuff like that. When you thaw or release your freezer spell, the negativity can and probably will resurface. Sometimes this is fine, like when you are ready with your own pushback or other circumstances have changed and you need to get back into the fray or get back to addressing the problem. So, why can the energy of a freezer spell rebound or reappear? Well, what happens when you put a jar of soup in the freezer? It crystallizes, freezes solid, and when you take it out and thaw it, it returns pretty much to its original form. Same with a simple ice cube tray. Possibly energetic cords are still intact. Even when frozen, cords of attachment can remain active in the subtle realms. You probably have paused their influence, but not actually severed or healed the link. When the ice thaws, that cord becomes a channel again, possibly even with a pent up force behind it. Also, there could be a thought form memory lingering after you've done your spell, This is an imprint in the astral field. When it's released from stasis. So, again, unless you know that the problem has been resolved to your satisfaction, let's look at some ways we can undo the freezer spell safely. So, what I highly recommend is to do a controlled thaw with intention. Instead of simply removing the jar or the baggie and letting it melt naturally, we're going to set up a controlled ritual. I highly recommend getting a large bowl of water, and we're going to add some salt to the water, sea salt preferably, and set the bowl under sunlight or moonlight if possible, or if not, just set it on your table or your kitchen counter, whatever. By doing this step, we're reframing the whole melting from just releasing to transforming. Now, after the ice is gone, we're going to purify and neutralize any residual energy. When everything is melted and you have done your chant, and with your full intention, of course, into the bowl of salt water, you can put your hands over the salt water when you're saying the chant. Anything, make sure your intention is totally focused on transmuting any lingering negative energy. So we're going to take the bowl of salt water and pour it over the ground. So this has to be earth, not pavement. Or you can flush it down the toilet while visualizing maybe a violet flame transmuting any lingering energy. You can follow this with a smoke cleanse of your area, sage or copal or Palo Santo, whatever you like to use, or bell ringing to clear the space. I would retain the petition paper or whatever tag locks you have had in there and dry them out. And we're going to use those for the next step or steps that you want to take. You can do a banishing spell of completion using black salt. Now, you could make your own black salt, or you can just order it online or find it in your local metaphysical shop. So what you'll need is a small fireproof bowl or a cauldron, and you can add to the bowl your black salt, and you can add some crushed eggshells to the salt, and a few drops of vinegar if you wish, or lemon juice. You can use your petition paper if it's still usable, or a piece of parchment with the name or the situation that you had frozen written on it. And the only other thing you'll need is a black candle for banishing, or a white candle for purification. Either one works. So you're going to start by cleansing your space with smoke or sound, which can be bells or clapping. Ground yourself, placing one hand on your heart, one hand on the earth or the floor. Set your intentions clearly. Light your candle. Hold the paper or parchment into the flame. Carefully burn the paper while focusing on the situation, dissolving, transmuting completely from your energetic field. As the paper burns, say, fire consumes, salt cleanses, ashes fall. What is gone shall not return at all. Allow the ashes to fall into your black salt mixture. Mix it up together and let it sit for a while to allow the salt to do its work. When you're finished, you can close off the ritual again with sound or whatever your chosen method is. When the ashes and the salt are totally cool and you're ready to scatter them just at a crossroads, You can pour them into running water. Again, be careful how much salt you put into water. Or bury them in soil far away from your home. You can also dispose in the garbage if you wish. So, some special notes about all of the above. Never pour salt water or ritual salt into your garden or onto plants. It will kill them. Never keep banishing spell components on your property after your spell is finished. Unless it's a spell where you are burying your items, even then, bury them as far away as possible. And always be super cognizant of what you toss into nature or into running water. I really hope that these tips have been super helpful to you. Let me know your freezer spell success stories. And if you've had any rebounds, make sure you wrap things up next time and let me know in the comments below what you've experienced. So share them with others as well. I'll be doing another episode shortly, depending on how much time my little kitty allows me, and forgive some of the interruptions that I had while recording this. So I'll be talking about some super potent follow-up spells for taking any issues even further, as pertains to freezer spells. So make sure to subscribe and hit the little bell if you'd like to be notified of my new videos. Be well, everyone, and stay magical.